So let's talk about that. I know that you pursued the world record in deadlift, and I want you to kind of map out that journey also. What was that all about? Why did you even get started to?
Always wanted to be in the Guinness Book of World Records. And funny, Candace reminded me that like 9 or 10 years ago, I snorted this noodle through my nose and it came out of my mouth. And I was like doing this. I was like, look, I could be in the Guinness record book. I don't know why. And then before we moved to this house, I was trying to do the world record in air squats. I'm like, man, I think I can do a bunch of air squats. And then I was actually videoing myself from the side, and I'm only going down like halfway. I'm like, oh, it's not going to work. And so I put that on the back burner, and I read this book called Can't Hurt Me by David Goggins. And he broke the world record for most pull-ups in 24 hours. I'm like, that's pretty awesome. I'm like, what could I do? I'm like, I'm really strong at deadlifts, and everybody that comes in my office is afraid of doing deadlifts because it's the most taxing on your back. They're like, I'm not going to do deadlifts, not too heavy. They're wearing back braces. I'm like, why don't I just, that title should belong to a chiropractor. I'm going to prove that what I preach works by breaking this world record. So for 5 months, I trained. I wasn't really serious, though, till about 3 months before the record because I didn't get my acceptance letter from Guinness for about 12 weeks. And then I applied, and then once I got that acceptance letter, I was like, okay, no more screwing around. And the biggest thing for me was I cut alcohol, 100%. I'm like, and that's hard for me because I like to come home Friday night, have a couple drinks, Saturday, a couple drinks, Sunday, a couple drinks. And it was the hardest thing getting rid of that. But because my goal and my mission was so focused, I didn't even want it. And so the last time I drank was like July 7th, like 4th of July weekend. And and this is when I'm like I got the acceptance letter. And then this was the next day. I drank a beer and I got sick. I'm like, whoa, that's weird. And so I didn't drink that day, and I got a headache, almost like a hangover almost instantly. And then the next day, I'm like, I'll just drink tequila. And so I drank a tequila, and I was like, it tastes sour. And we drink this real high-end tequila. I'm like, something wrong with this tequila? I'm like, this is bad. And then I got sick again. I got a headache. I'm like, dude, that's a sign. Like, if alcohol is making me sick, it's like I made my goal so big that my body's just rejecting anything that's bad for you. And so I cut it out 75 days. And actually, I went 2 more weeks afterwards. And then I had a margarita. I was like, oh, I'm wasted. And then I got tired. I'm like, I feel like crap.
So let's go to the world record. I know that you had it live streaming from like 6 a.m. till past midnight. And during that time, your entire office was like this amazing gym. You had dozens and dozens of people supporting you and trying to push you forward. And I was watching it too. I was sitting in bed, like half asleep, and I'm like, I gotta see if he breaks the record. I'm like, my eyes can't stay open. I'm like, I gotta check and make sure. I owe it to him to like see when he crosses that threshold. And you beat it, and then I could go to sleep. But it was just like everyone was pushing you, and you had calluses on your
oh man, they were blisters. They're still healing. Like, I don't know if you can see those guys, but they're peeling everywhere right now.
The deadlift is always regarded as the one lift in the gym that people are afraid of because why? Because of the lower back. I figured that whoever can lift the most weight with a deadlift in 24 hours should have a pretty strong back. And I could actually probably say they'd have the world's strongest back. And so I figured if that title belongs to anybody, that should belong to me as a chiropractor.
hands were killing me.
How'd you get past that?
It's just, I don't know, I was rough, and I was looking up. Every time I do a set, I'm like, fuck, it's not moving. And then every time I grab the bar, I'm like, oh, my hands are killing me. It's like, I'm not going to be able to keep going. And like this finger hurts so bad, I thought it was going to rip off. So I had my sister actually go to this market and get super glue. So when I pulled my glove off, if it peeled off, I would glue my skin back on. And so I peeled it off. I'm like, oh, it's not peeled off. But a blister was forming. And then blisters formed all the way across all of these and all of these. And then under my calluses, I got blisters. And like this finger's still a little trashed. You see the blood vessels busted in there. But you couldn't touch, my fingers were so tender, you couldn't even touch them like this. And so, but after, like, I would just sit there every time, and I had them time me. So I'm like, you got to time me and keep me on track, or else, we can't do this. And so I would do a set, rest 1 minute. And I do that 5 times, and then I get a 2-minute rest. And during that 2-minute rest, they would massage my arms, and it's like a pit crew just coming in and just getting on me. I'm like, lasering my hands and active release my forearms, adjusting me. And it was crazy, but, and then I'd get back. He's like, okay, it's time. I'm like, oh, it went by so fast. And then he'd go, okay, go. And every time I went to grab that bar, I'm like, damn it. And I grab it, and it just hurt like hell. And I just put through it. But, my wife wrote a little thing right at the bottom. I look at it every time I do a rep. It says, remember tomorrow. I'm like, oh, I got to do this. And then I had a picture of my daughter that my daughter wrote up there. So my eyes would go from here to there, here to there. And I just remember all the time I'd sacrificed to train. Like, I'd be working out 4 or 5 hours. It's on a weekend when I could be hanging out with my kids or something. I'm like, I'm not doing all that for nothing. I will go until my skin rips off of my hands. And I didn't use straps, but I had straps in case I needed to. I even bought these straps with metal hooks like this. So if I just needed to lift, but I just used my hands and just powered through the pain. And the last 5 hours, the pain went down probably by 30%. So it was actually tolerable. It was just, I started feeling my hip go out, and it was like things are falling apart. But
so what was that like when you finally did break the record? What was that feeling?
It was amazing. And in my head, I was like, I'm going to break the record. I'm going to take another 20-minute nap, and then I'm going to go 3 or 4 hours. But I knew, like, I took a 20-minute nap like halfway through, and it took the massage guy and massage guns and all kinds of stuff. It took me 30 minutes just to get up and start moving again. And then it took me another 15, 20 minutes to get back into my rhythm. Like, I lifted it once. I'm like, oh no, I'm not even going to be able to lift this. And so it took a full hour for me to really get back into track. And so at the end of the day, I was like, if I take a nap, I'm screwed. Let's keep going. We're going until I get to my 1.1 goal. And I'm like, so I went I think it took me another 2 hours of just pushing through. I'm like, let's do this. I'm not going into the last shift, because every 4 hours you have to switch trainers and witnesses. And I'm like, you're the last witness and trainer. Let's go. I'm breaking it before, and I broke it like right before my goal, right before 2 o'clock in the morning.
What I loved about it was, after I saw you break the record, like, and I had to watch it on replay the next morning, but you were like, whoa, 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 whoa. You did like 30 or 40 like in a row at the very end. Like, you didn't
that was the very last set.
Yeah, like that last set was like crazy. Like, I was like, how is he still able to even move his arm?
Well, I was like, I was only doing sets of 15.
But the other thing at the end, though, was you let go and you broke your own record, and then you put your hands in the ice.
Oh,
and
yeah.
Candace, your wife, comes around and hugs you. Tell me about that moment.
Oh, it was just amazing. Like, I couldn't I was like, I'm just going to do as many as I can. I'm going to use it all, and I'm just going to go. And so I just pounded out. I'm like, I feel pretty good at 15. And I told everybody, this is the last set. And everybody's counting and counting. I'm like, let's keep going. Let's just keep going until my body just stops. And then after about 30, my hip was starting to hurt. I'm like, I think I can knock another 10 out. So I just did a last set of 40 just to put a little exclamation point on it. And then after I was done, I was like, ice, my hands. And then like Candace came up, and it was just, you know, she was my rock the whole time. Like I went to the